is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Mike Murphy.
Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate that. Yes, I am Mike Murphy, host of the Good Neighbor Podcast. We are talking with local business owners here in Northern Kentucky so that the residents, the people that utilize their services, know them as human beings and not just logos on a business card or the side of a truck or on the side of a building. With me today is a local business owner, somebody who I've become friends with over the past year and a half. Her name is Susan Zeck Taylor, and Susan is the owner of OM8 Collective, a yoga studio in Florence, Kentucky. And I've got plenty of friends who are students of hers. So it only made sense that I check in with her and just kind of get to understand what she has going on. She keeps trying to get me to come and be a student of hers myself. I'm a little hesitant because I've got that dad bod thing going on, but you know what? There's only one way to combat that, and that is to take better care of yourself. So, Susan, you're probably going to see me at your studio one day. So without further ado, tell people all about your yoga studio, and let's start there.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me on here. I appreciate that. And like you said, we have become friends, and I appreciate and value our relationship. And which is why I want you to get into the studio. All right, it's time.
Yep.
Our yoga studio is in Oak Brook Town Center, right by Bourbon House and Salon Obsession. We're in the little strip right there. We offer yoga classes and mat Pilates classes. So we have both options and multiple temperatures. So we have hot classes, we have warm classes, and we have a couple that are just unheated. No cold classes. That's not good for anybody's body. Okay. But there's a variety of different styles of classes as well. So there's some yoga flow classes where there's a lot more moving, a lot of heat, of sweating. And then we also have some restorative classes that are more still or stretching or yoga nidra, which is more like a meditation practice. So we have a wide variety of different options for all of our students to come and try based on what you need that day, that week, or just generally in your life. So you've got options, dad bods included, right? We take all sizes, all shapes, all ages.
Right. And no judgment, right?
No judgment whatsoever. No clothing requirements, it's a very
saying we don't have to wear clothes.
You have to wear clothes. Clothes are required. But they don't have to be fancy yoga clothes. I mean, they can be, for guys, a shorts and a t-shirt works just fine. Yoga pants, tank tops. There's no judgment. There's no, it's just a very inviting community.
So everybody's heard of yoga. And, like, for instance, my wife, she does yoga every morning. She is kind of one of those people. She gets out of bed and she has her own mat, and she just that's part of her routine before she gets ready to go to work in the morning. And seeing her do that, even I myself, I'm not fully in tune with what yoga really is. So briefly, can you tell us, what are the benefits of yoga?
Absolutely. Well, that's an amazing thing that she has, because she has her own home practice, which is a pretty advanced level. Most people just show up to yoga and do their thing. When you move into the space where you're doing your own practice every day, it's a whole nother level for yourself and your own self-care. So that's amazing that she's doing that, for one. But yoga in general is a multitude of things. So it can be just the asana, which is what the pose is, which is what you see in all the pictures and all the magazines and everything. That's just the asana. That's just the physical practice. And for some people, that's what they need, right? They need to move their bodies. They need to gain flexibility or grow stronger. And you can do all of that in the yoga poses. But then some people need it for just the health benefits, lowering your heart rate down, because there are some cardio benefits, especially in the hot room. But for a lot of people, it's the stress release, whether it's the physical practice or a more still practice. It's just the spending time in an environment where everything starts to calm down your central nervous system. So slowing everything down getting back in tune with your body and how you feel and what's going on in your own health, just in stillness sometimes, just kind of checking in with yourself. So it can be the physical practice. It can be a practice of stillness, like a yin class where we hold poses for longer, increasing flexibility and preventing injury, which is a huge one, especially for a lot of the athletes that we have come in. But it doesn't have to be all that. It can be also some of like the yoga nidra, which is a calming meditation practice that we have. We have it every Sunday night. And it's like a guided meditation. And only about 15 minutes of it is equivalent to like 2 hours of sleep. So the benefits overall are amazing. So whether you want to sweat or you want to be still, we think that it's all important. I, as a teacher, have a very physical practice teacher. I'm the mean teacher, right? So I'm the teacher that we move and we flow and we sweat. And I love the challenge and seeing my students step up to it. But I also teach a still practice. And people always just crack up when they realize that I teach both. And I'm like, well, you need the balance. So in my own personal body, my own personal practice, I have to have that balance too. So we love introducing students who have only had the physical practice. They've only tried it in the hot room that's 105 to step into our space and try. It's a little bit cooler. We're about 90 to 95 in the hot room. And then also to have them slow all the way down into a practice that's more of stillness and more of stretch and more of release. And it's been amazing to see how many students are just enjoying all the classes across the board. And the offer that we have, the promotion for the 2 weeks for $38, gives them a great opportunity to try all the different classes. So it's unlimited for 2 weeks. You can just come in and try anything you think you might be interested in. And if you hate it, you don't have to come back, right? But then, you know, you get to try the different ones. Some people love the hot, some people don't. But it's been really interesting to see how many people that I have taught for the 8 years that I've taught that will come in and say, I will never take a hot class. I will never do it. I will never take a hot class. And now they're sneaking into the hot classes and they're like, I love it. So, and the people that I've taught that have a really physical practice, that like to arm balance, that are stepping into the classes where there's stillness. So it's been really, really, it's just a great experience just seeing this over the last, we've only been open, a year and 4 months, I believe. So we opened in December, right after Christmas of 2022. And so it's been really amazing to see the community that we're building and all the people that are stepping through the doors. So we want everybody to recognize that it's for everyone, all shapes, all sizes, all ages. Even my daughter will step into my regular classes and she's 12. So it's a very open and inviting community. There's no yoga studios in general, a lot of times get, the persona that it's intimidating. OM8 is not intimidating in any way. That's the first thing people come in there. This place is great.
I said before, no judgment. And I think a lot of people feel like there may be judgment. They might feel like they're walking into an environment where everybody knows each other. They all know their skill level, quote unquote. They're all friends and they're coming in as an outsider and they're going to be judged or ridiculed or whatever. So that $38 class for 2 weeks of unlimited classes, I believe that's it, is certainly a way to put your toe in the water financially and kind of understand it better. But I would think that also kind of can help people understand that they are truly there among friends. You're all there for different reasons yet, but for the same reason, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
So you're all on the same team. So come into the studio and make some friends. Is that a kind of a fair way of looking at it?
Absolutely. Community has been
and make friends with your body too.
Exactly. With yourself, honestly. When I first started practicing yoga, that was one of the things I didn't realize that I was missing. I was no longer friends with my body. Like I didn't even know what was going on with my body. I had just, I have 4 children and I was so focused on them and being a mom and, work and all of the things as a graphic designer that I was doing freelance wise. So that's my background, that I I wasn't paying any attention to myself. And when I found yoga, it was like a breath of fresh air. That's the best way I can describe it. Because all of a sudden I was like, I'm still here. Like who I am is still here. Just me by myself as a whole, as a human being, without having all of these labels and everyone else thinking that I am, right? So it was amazing for me to be able to connect back to myself. And I think that a lot of people are missing that they're missing just an hour to themselves. And it made me a better mother. It made me better at everything that I did because I was taking time to recharge myself. So it's like plugging that phone in every night, right? I mean, once a day, I got to plug myself in to recharge. And it was even funny because my oldest son, when I would go to class, I came back feeling like a better human, right? I mean, I was back in touch with myself, and he would even say to his siblings, Mom's going to yoga. And they'll be like, okay. Well, one day something happened and there was no one to watch them. And the schedule was getting completely crazy. And my oldest looked at me and he goes, I'll watch everybody. You go to yoga. And I was like, what? He goes, you feel better when you go to yoga. So even they could see the visible results of me just spending 1 hour on my mat, taking time to breathe, to check in, to reset. And it made everything in the house better when I started paying attention to myself. So the connection to self is a huge thing, but community is even bigger, because I feel like with COVID, and I know, we still don't even like to bring it up, but everybody started practicing yoga at home. And everybody came inward and focused on themselves and everything else. But I think what's really missing now is that sense of community, and everybody missed practicing together. So we have really tried to make that a big focus. And I mean, I have met so many new people that have come in, and all the people that are supposed to be finding us are finding us. And I had a student come in, and she was new, and after class, I said, well, how was your first class? What did you think? And she said, I loved it. She's like, but it seemed like everybody kind of knew each other in the room. And I smiled, and she's like, why are you smiling? And I said, well, everybody in this room did not know each other before they walked in here. So everyone that had met at OM8 and had established a relationship, and we are small, we are a boutique style studio. So the teachers know your name, your injuries, what's going on in your life, as much information as you want to give them. So when you walk in and your mom's been sick or something's going on, they're going to acknowledge it, or they're going to know when to leave you alone. Right. So it's just a really cool atmosphere. And I have amazing teachers. I have 12 teachers that teach along with me. Some of them are just subs. Some of them are on the regular schedule. But I wouldn't say my criteria, but the way that I hire my teachers is I try to choose people that are authentic in their teaching. They are who they are the second they stand up there to teach, and they are the same person when they walk out the door. That for me is huge. And I have some of the best humans teaching for me right now. All of them have their own special things that they're good at. Either they're teaching the yin classes that are slow and melty, or they like that power, fast pace, or they like the in-between. They like a slow flow, and they excel at that. So I let my teachers choose, what class would you like to teach? Because I feel like teachers are the best teachers when they're in the space doing what they love. So I never ask a teacher to teach a format that they don't like. So
when somebody comes to OM8, there's different disciplines, different types of yoga. I don't know the terminology, but they can find what works for them, what's best for them, what's the best fit. And I think the same goes for the teachers too. I know people can go onto your website and actually see photos of the teachers, see their names, understand everything that you offer there at OM8. And so people can just kind of find their own entry point and then show up. It feels like home when you walk into your studio. It's very warm and inviting, very clean, very open. It's a very cool place. I would encourage people to go and check it out. But they're also, like you said before, when people walk in, they may not know anybody, or they may surprise themselves and know one or two people.
They
but
probably
most people
will.
walk in not knowing anybody.
Northern Kentucky,
they become
right?
friends.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Yeah, you wonder where your neighbor's going every morning, and you're going to show up and realize, well, that's where my neighbor's going. Okay, now I get it.
Well, we have had that multiple times. Somebody to walk and be like, "Hey, I didn't know you came here." Yeah, so I mean, that's even more fun. It's like a bonus because practicing with your friends is always more fun, right? And if you are hesitant, I always say just bring a friend with you. Like 2 of you come and try it. Because it's always more fun to get started with somebody else and then have somebody else hold you accountable to taking time for yourself. So bringing a friend, we have lots of people come in 2s that have decided to just, dip their foot in the water, like you said, and just step in and come try it out. But we were completely honored to be voted best yoga studio in Northern Kentucky for the 2nd year this year. So we may be the new kid in town, but we're thrilled that the people are noticing and coming and checking us out. And that shows how loyal the people that have stepped foot through the door are. I mean, they are thrilled to vote for us. And that was amazing for us to win it 2 years in a row, only have been open a year and 4 months. So that's amazing. So we're super thrilled.
Well,
we have such a great community.
A lot of that has to do with your enthusiasm, your passion. So kudos to you there. But, like they say, behind every great person is a better person, or, behind every great man is a great woman. Well, behind you've got, you mentioned your family earlier and how supportive they've been, and your oldest saying, hey, you go do what you got to do. I got this. So I want you to shout out your family. You got 4 kids, and I've seen them. I don't know them all very well, but I know them by reputation. I know their faces. So who are they? And just a little bit about each one, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Yes, my 4 children are my reason why. My reason why I opened the studio, my reason for why in all regard. But my oldest, his name is Zeck Taylor. He went to Cooper, and he now is at UK. He has 1 more semester, and he's in kinesiology and exercise science. He is a leader in the Young Life community in Lexington. So he's walking in line with God and doing amazing things down there. And then Carson is my next son. He's at Cooper, and he was the kicker of the football team. He's 6'6". He's a giant boy. He's doing his own amazing things on his own regard.
Some long legs.
He also played lacrosse. I mean, if people see me outside of the studio, I'm usually on a field or a court somewhere with my children, because he played lacrosse and tennis as well. And he used to play soccer. So a lot of people know our family just because we're involved in a lot of the sports in town. But he just received the presidential scholarship for the University of Kentucky. So he will be joining his brother at UK. But he got the governor's scholar, the full ride. So he's graduating, and he's getting ready to head in that direction. So he's doing amazing things in his own. Isabella is my 8th grader. She's getting ready to graduate. She is the sweetest thing. And I know they say 8th graders are trouble, but she is not, right? All right. She is one of the sweet middle schoolers. She loves to play volleyball, lives, breathes, eats volleyball, and hopes to play in college someday. So she plays on the national level for club volleyball at Apex. So she loves doing that. And then my youngest is Ivy, and she's a 6th grader at Ballyshannon, and she rides horses. So she is a jumper, which, makes her mother nervous when they do those great big jumps on a horse. But she loves the horses. She loves being around animals. She is probably the biggest helper with Cora, our new puppy. So she loves animals. She is a straight A student, and I honestly could not ask for better children. I always say that I got lucky. I like to think I had a little bit to do with it, but I'm pretty sure that God just intended that I have these 4 because they're amazing. But yeah, they're great. I have all good things to say about them. And they've been super supportive of the studio and helping me here and there when I need it, and folding towels and the little things that, come into play when you open a small business. And they've seen this, the struggles and the good and the bad. And, but they've been there helping me and cheering me on. Probably my other two biggest cheerleaders are my parents. They didn't see it coming that I was going to open my own studio, and they knew. I mean, I'd been teaching for it's been 8 years now that I've been teaching, and which is not ironic in any way or couldn't be a coincidence, but the 8 number starts to linger everywhere in my life lately. But they have been there to cheer me on, and my dad's was an accountant, and he's there to guide me and to encourage me to into different avenues of learning parts of the business that I'm new to, because I am a yoga teacher. I'm a graphic designer. So I was able to do all of my own work, website, logo, all of it, because I've been in branding for about 24 years. When I say that, it ages me, but but yeah. And then my mom is always there, to listen and to guide me and to things that, to help me just exceed and to do better. So,
okay. Well,
having
strong, loving parents yourself, you've become a strong, loving parent, just like your parents have been strong, loving parents to you. So we absolutely pass on what we learn. Okay. Well, tell you what, people want to know how they can get engaged with OM8 Collective. What's the best way for them to learn more about you? Where do they go?
I would say the best way would go onto the website. It's om8collective.com. So it's om8collective.com. Or we have a Facebook page, which is OM8 Collective, and they can check us out on there. We post exciting classes that are coming up every Friday night at 6:00. It's something different, something fun. We've had everything from a heavy metal class, which was heavy metal music with yoga set to it. Super fun. We pop that out every once in a while. To a more stillness, a candlelight yin class. It's all on the floor, lit by candles. And so that's a fun thing to watch, is what teachers popping in on Friday night to teach. And what they're going to teach. So that's a fun one. So even just jumping into that class is fun. But checking out the 2 weeks, I would say, would be the best way if you're wanting to try to jump in. We are only open before and after classes. So if you do stop by and the door is locked, it's because we do lock the door during class. But if you look at the schedule, there's the times are listed as to when the classes are. And I'm happy if somebody wants to come up and see the studio and meet me, I'm happy to meet them up there for an appointment. If they just want to shoot an email or a phone call, I'm happy to give somebody a tour if they want to see before they jump in. So that's always an option.
Yeah. I would encourage them to do that, because it's a fun place. It's a beautiful place. Like I said before, clean and inviting, and feels like home. Well, thanks for spending time with us and allowing us to get to know OM8 and a little bit about you. And, you're a part of the business community, but you've become a friend. So I really am looking forward to seeing what the future holds for you. Consider me a champion for you. And in terms of the client part, we'll see. It might be a student.
I think I need to get you in there. I think you'll love it more than you expect to. I think you should just jump in.
All right. Well, I promise to give it some thought. Well, thanks for spending time with me. That ends our time together today. And to the community at large, I say, go visit OM8, get to know Susan. See what she's got going on. She can make you a better person, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and you can make a lot of friends along the way. So until then, everybody, I'll say, see you next time, and be good to your neighbor.
Thanks for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Union. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpunion.com. That's gnpunion.com, or call us at 859-651-8330.